I mentioned before that networking is key. So who could introduce you or help open doors for you? And think about that not just from your business connections, but others that you may know but really haven't thought about that so much. I would say selectively notify your network that you're available or interested in exploring what's next. Sometimes that opens a door. Not I'm in the market and I need a job, but I'm at a point in my career where I'm considering what my future options might be. Who do you know that might be good for me to have a conversation with as I begin to or continue to explore this? Events are still happening, if not face to face. Networking meetings, conferences, trade shows, etc. A lot of them online. But the other thing that's happened, I coached someone last year, Terrence, who participated in any number of online conferences. And in advance, they sent out the attendee list and also the presenters. And he proactively networked with a number of individuals, and it resulted in conversations and interviews. And in fact, he just started a new job with an organization that came from one of those conferences. So they're still happening, and you have to, again, be selective, but which ones might glean you that kind of exposure? You can certainly reach out to your connections online. Our president, our CEO, Dave Upton, and I had a bit of a shared chuckle this morning by email. And that is, I have a lot of people in my LinkedIn network, many of whom I'm not sure why I'm connected to them or even who they are. And so one thing that I've promised to embark on this fall, as the weather's change and it gets colder here in Northeast Ohio, is to organize my network. And if you can think about file folders, those kinds of things can be done within LinkedIn, and knowing how I'm connected, why I'm connected, who our shared connections are, those sorts of things, and decide upon perhaps what are some of those relationships that I would like to revitalize or reach out to. And I'll be doing a lot of that work online. Because like with you, there are former colleagues, recruiters, friends, etc., even those that share common interests. And just jumping down for a moment, what are the relevant groups or other groups, not necessarily on LinkedIn, but associations, etc., where you may need to join? And why is that? Because you want to go to those groups and those individuals who can help support you. Not so much for what you have done, but for what you want to do. So consider it a way to expand your connections and expand your marketing reach. Next, please. I'm going to start at the bottom about the reality of recruiters. They usually will find you when they need you and not before. And so I know individuals get very frustrated when a recruiter doesn't take their call or doesn't review a resume or doesn't respond to an email or whatever. Now, having said that, if you're referred by a trusted colleague, that's when they will pay attention. So we're back to networking again. To start, you can go back to recruiters you've used before, or perhaps they've contacted you before, or they've been referred to you by others. You can use search on LinkedIn and beyond to look for recruiters who may specialize in your industry or your functional area or role. Not so much geography as it used to be, because recruiters are placing anywhere in the world, but it could be there's some local individuals and smaller boutique firms that are appropriate. And also to join the appropriate groups on LinkedIn to be found by recruiters. If I was looking for a diversity and inclusion officer or executive, I would go to the diversity and inclusion groups on LinkedIn. I may look to see who's in those roles presently and find out what groups or what interests they have, those sorts of things. So you want to be sure that you are strategic again by what groups you're joining so that recruiters can find you. The same would be to make sure that you have an updated profile and resume on ExecuNet and any other sites where recruiters might be looking for candidates.